Welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors. I'm your host, and tonight I got a very special guest. The other member of Killanova, Royce Bishop. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Before I ask any question, I have to ask from one of my family member wanted to know. I don't know if you know Rep Rich Landon. You might see his post.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, my older kids, that's his their mother's cousin.
Okay.
He wanted to know, were you initially pissed that your partners went ahead of you and did my show first?
No, I like the spotlight to myself.
There you go.
So, let them do their thing, and they have a longer history as far as Killanova Inc. goes, so It made sense for them to do it together, and, all eyes on me.
Right. I got to admit, I felt bad at first. That's why I hit you up and get you some dates, but I loved it when you said you could do a Mondays, and then all of a sudden, DL Hurst, thanks, DL, canceled, and here you are. Let's get right into it. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Somerville, Massachusetts. Went to Hill Section.
Yep.
I was there until high school years. High school, we moved to Haverhill, Mass.
Right.
Spent I guess my more adult years up there. So almost split in half at this point in my life.
Okay. Nice.
So half there, and so I guess both cities helped grow me into who I am. I think
Tough cities too.
Yeah, I learned a lot in both.
I bet. When did you first see pro wrestling?
I think I might be later than some of my contemporaries. I want to say I was probably around like 9 or 10. From what I can remember, I want to say like my first pay-per-view I watched was In Your House, Cold Day in Hell, which was Austin and Undertaker, and I remember them doing a tombstone reversal, which I was incredibly impressed with as a kid. And obviously, I think like most kids, The Undertaker was very captivating. And I would say from there, it's always foggy because I remember I'd rent a lot of VHSs and go back and watch a lot of stuff.
Right.
So I'm always like, that's what stands out to me, but I could have been watching it before. Most of my younger years, I was like a product of like the Ninja Turtles and karate movies. I was a huge Bruce Lee and Van Damme and Seagal. Like that's what I watched as a kid predominantly. Where a lot of kids were watching Hogan. I was more into like the martial arts side. And then somehow I must have just stumbled upon that, and the pay-per-view is the first thing I remember. So I must have seen some Monday Night Raws leading up to it. But that's always what sticks out in my mind.
Nice. Were your friends or family into it also?
Family, not so much.
Mine either.
I think I would have been involved at a younger age if my family was. My friends, absolutely, die hard. I mean, we would matches in the playgrounds, as I think most kids do. Don't try it at home. It was something that we all shared a passion with. All the video games, go after school, play all the video games together. Nintendo 64, No Mercy, and all the it was such a big part of our everyday thing. I want to say my closet was predominantly WWF clothing. I wasn't so much a WCW guy at that point.
No. All right. When did you decide or know I want to be a wrestler?
It's funny. I think there's two different points in my life.
Okay.
When I was, preteen to teenager, I really wanted to do it. I was interested in it. Didn't really know where to go. Didn't even think it was really a possibility.
Right.
I remember watching Tough Enough the first season on MTV, and wow, this is what it's all about. And that's when I really started seeing, the behind the curtain kind of stuff, and how bumps are learned, and the infamous, Triple H speech that he gave that kind of made me go, wow, do I really want to do that? Right. When I get older. And then when I got into my high school years, it was kind of I kind of fell off of wrestling. And I want to say I revisited it probably in my mid-20s. Okay. And I was like, okay. I was working at a television store, Circuit City, which is no longer around.
Right.
We had the Hurricane come in to do an autograph signing.
Oh, wow.
He gave 2 free tickets. I ended up being one of the people that got the ticket. We went to a SmackDown, and I fell in love all over again. Right. And this was probably like 2006-ish. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I started watching again. And then it was a couple years after that where I decided to, really get involved. And that's when I was like, all right, I know I want to do this. Like, I really want to try this and see how it goes.
And how did you find the school?
So I was at work, working at a different television store at the time. So throughout my college years, I was managing some TV stores.
Yep.
And former Chaotic Wrestling owner adult walked in, Mark
Beaudry. I've been friends with him for a long time.
He walked in, and he had his Chaotic jacket on,
Yep.
and he was buying a TV for his dad. He came in with his dad. And, we were just shooting the breeze, talking about wrestling. And I was like, wow, cool. Like, I know all about Chaotic. I've heard of you guys. And I was never a big indie fan. Like, I never really watched indie wrestling. I didn't really know what was out there. And we talked about it. And I told him, I said, I've always had a dream of wanting to be a wrestler. I just never knew where to start, and I never took the initiative. And, he pointed me towards the website and said, go check it out, talk to Brian Fury. And, it was all history from there. I emailed Brian. He said, come watch one class. I went by, I sat there, watched one class, and I said, yeah, I want to do this.
Nice. That's awesome. Mark's such a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
All right, so like Brian trained you at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. Who else was in your class? I know Christian was, because he said it yesterday.
Yep, and that's really how me and Christian's friendship started, and became much deeper than wrestling.
Yep.
The wrestling industry, you have a lot of acquaintances, not so many friends. A lot of us are in competition with each other.
Right.
Me and Christian definitely were deeper than that. Our introduction ring, the beginner ring, as they call it, since we have 2 rings at the school, was pretty much myself, Christian, Brick Mastone, Flip Gordon. We all came in roughly a few months apart from each other. And as far as like the advanced ring went, guys like Donovan Dijak were there, Mikey Webb, Cam Zagami, Davian, like they were all AG. AG was coming around. I think he had been training somewhere else for a little while, and then he started just coming around at that point. It was the amount of talent that was in there that you see where they are now. Is very eye-opening. Also, when you look at like some of the people that were guest training for us too,
where they are now.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt about it. I mean, I've been following Chaotic since they first started. And they are absolutely no knock on any other company in New England but the Top company. Them, and I'd like to think Top Rope, they've been around for a long time when they were under Yankee Pro and stuff. Why don't you tell us about your very first match? Most guys go, do I have to?
Yeah, I was extremely happy with my first match because, like everyone else that has a first match as a battle royal, it's easy. I was very excited. It was Chaotic Countdown 2015, and I remember I was coming in probably, I gotta say, like two or 3 people after Christian. So I knew I'd be in there with him, and I felt very confident. We were both very new, but we're like, hey, let's go work together. So he wanted to make sure I looked great, so we came in and we had some cool stuff that we did. And then the music hit, and out came Setherin. And he took my head off with a clothesline, and I decided, all right, can someone come eliminate me now? I think I'm ready to go. So yeah, that was it was very exciting. I feel like when I had my singles match, I was a little bit more ready for that crowd because I had that opportunity to come out then. I think if I went directly into a singles match, I'd be a lot more nervous. Also, my road to getting to that point was probably longer than most, so I felt more prepared in that sense. And Brian Fury does a great job at training us as far as matches. Like we have a lot of matches at class. We walk through a lot of things so that we can be prepared for those kind of moments.
Nice. And who was the singles match against you?
Adam Booker.
Oh, okay, nice.
Adam Booker.
Yeah.
So it was right around the time where he was working with all the students. They were running a storyline where he was basically running through all the students in the school until Dijak came and saved us. So it was great. It was a short, probably like 5-minute match. But it was great. He helped me out a lot, especially being someone brand new and like being very nervous. He calmed my nerves pretty quick and walked me through pretty well.
Nice. He's an awesome wrestler. He really is. Let's jump into the fan. No, we're not going to jump into fan questions. I'm sorry. You also, did you write the song that Christian comes out?
Yes,
okay.
I did.
You wrote it and you performed it.
I did. I performed it 2 years ago at Cold Fury.
Right.
2016. It was 3, right? 2017. Right around there, a couple years ago. I performed it, came out with them for their entrance. It's funny, the way the song kind of came about, it wasn't specifically for Christian.
Oh, really?
So I was doing music before wrestling. I did music for a while, and I had 2 albums. And that song was on my second album.
Okay.
And I remember Christian, he was calling me and texting me saying, hey, I'm getting away from this Michael Jackson thing. I'm going into, this, telling me about the Killanova thing that he wanted to do. And as he was getting into it, he's like, I need something that fits me. And, I'd love to maybe use, one of your songs. And I sent him over a couple that I thought, would fit him. And he's like, yeah, like this one sounds like too good of a good guy. Like, I don't want them to,
Right.
He's like, this one right here, and the one that we use, which is entitled Who Is He? He sent it over and he said, I need this one. Like,
Right.
Can you get me an edited version, take out the swears? I said, absolutely, I'd be honored
Right.
for you to come out to my music. That's
No
great.
doubt.
So yeah, and I think it fits him well. Before I joined Killanova, I'd watch him, from afar, and I'd watch the way he reacted as he came out to the music, and I said, wow, that you would think I had made it directly for him.
Right. That is awesome. Now, you want to tell it any place where we can buy the CDs?
Yeah, off me at a show.
At a show? All right. That's cool. That's fine. So hear that, guys. Hit them up.
Absolutely.
All right. So now you were into music, you went to wrestling, and you left wrestling like we just talked about and stuff, and now you're back.
Yep.
And you got a big match Friday night. As Logan's and Chase like to say, they're the greatest trio in chaotic history.
Sure.
But I have a feeling that Friday night, it ain't going to go their way.
I mean, I can make the promise, but I'd rather just let the action speak for it.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to it. It's my first Cold Fury, as a performer, not
Right.
as a rapper.
Yep.
And, I mean, I'm coming out swinging.
Your partners are too.
I know they got my back. I got their back. It's definitely deeper than pro wrestling. That's why we're the Killanova culture.
Right.
It is a culture. It's if you're not down with the culture, then you're basic, and if you are, then you're incorporated. And as far as like the Mill City Hooligans go, I think they're guys that were great, and they still have flashes of greatness, but I don't see why they needed to stick their nose in our business to begin with. We were coming out. We're hot. We're fresh.
Yep.
We're new. We're bringing something different to the table. I think they're being insecure. I think that's the only reason why they would want to get involved with us is because they're insecure that they're past the prime. So I'm hoping Friday we're proving that. So I'll have my head on a swivel. Believe that.
Right. I'm going. I can't wait. Bringing my grandson, and that's one of the matches I'm looking forward to.
I appreciate it.
Let's get into some fan questions.
Cool.
One of Chaotic's biggest fans, and you obviously know who I'm talking about, Squeaks, Anthony Miller. He says, did you rap the lyrics to Killanova's theme song? He just answered it for you. I wanted to say his name because Anthony's such a great guy.
Absolutely.
He just answered it for you, Anthony. Another Anthony Mark Balkas, who goes to APW all the time.
APW,
yeah. He says, I want to say thank you for the T-shirt you gave my son at APW. He loves it. Then he asked some questions. Who do you want to wrestle that you haven't yet?
Oh, man.
I'm sure there's a list.
I'm so new in the industry, man. I mean, if we could put it on a big scale, but even breaking it down to like just to this local level of guys that I can wrestle in the area. I'm looking forward to having a chance to work with AG, Retrosexual Anthony Green. I think he's great. I might take his girls from him.
There you go.
I need to. Brian Fury is a dream for me. I know he's gonna take another small step out of retirement to face AG. Hopefully, I can get under his skin enough to someday, wanna test me a little bit too. Christian, honestly, no hatred between us, just a lot of love. But I'd love for us to push each other to the limit in the ring. I think Christian is one of the best performers, not just in the Northeast, but across the country.
I agree.
I think he's extremely underrated, and a lot of people need to get some more eyes on him. But yeah, I mean, there's a list of people. I mean, JT Dunn, Josh Briggs.
Right.
You know, me and Josh both being big guys, I think we can have you know, very physical match. Could be a lot of fun. So.
And I'll tell you, all those matches would be great. Now, what is your favorite match you've been in so far? You kind of touched on it a little bit, I think.
I think, like, this Friday is probably going to be my favorite.
Right.
What I've done already, our last show at Chaotic, you know, we really we brawled it out with Bear Country.
Right.
That was a lot of fun. I like being physical like that. I'm a big guy. I'm you know, I got a lot of mouth, but I'm not just gonna finesse you. You know,
right.
I'm gonna punch you in the face, and I appreciate when you punch me in the face back because it pushes me more. And I think we had a slugfest. We probably should be the tag champs. I happened to take my eyes off of Beefcake, and I got tossed around outside. I'm not used to being manhandled like that. So,
he's a big dude.
But it was definitely fun, and I look forward to getting to work with those guys again sometime.
Nice. I didn't get to go last time, but my buddy Dan, who's going to ask a question in a few minutes, he goes to all the shows. He said that match was unreal.
It was good.
He loved it. Jared Dumoulin wants to know, when are you going to get some gold around your waist?
We should have had the gold at the last show.
Right?
I look at a championship title as something that is, I hold them all in high regard, no matter the promotion, because I feel like if any promoter wants to put that on you, then that means you're a draw for them. You're important to them. So I hope at any time I get that, because I feel like that is, at any promotion, is an accomplishment in itself.
Right.
You know, being able to be someone that helps carry the company and being a pillar in a company is definitely something I want to do for any company that wants me there.
Nice. Jared, it'll happen, buddy. Damon Farah. You know, Damon, another great fan.
Legendary fan.
Oh, absolutely. Are you more comfortable wrestling as a heel or a face? You seem to pull off both roles off well, I'm sorry. I was wondering if you had a preference.
I appreciate that. And I do got to talk to Christian about his 4XLT, because
we talked to him yesterday. Yeah, we did. So make sure he gets it,
we got to have a conversation on our next order. I do both. Yeah, I have done both. I'm currently doing both, depending on where I'm at. Yep. They're almost like polar opposites as far as like a comfort level. And what I mean by that is not that I'm uncomfortable doing either, but the feelings are different that I get. For instance, when I'm a baby, the reaction from a crowd when they cheer you is an adrenaline rush. It's amazing. As far as like just full on being comfortable, I'm way more comfortable as a heel. Because I think it fits my persona more.
Okay.
Not so much that I'm a bad guy, but in the sense that I like to say what I want to say. I like getting booed. You know, if you boo me, the louder you boo me, the more I know I'm doing my job right and I'm getting under your skin. And I love to be able to do that. To have that kind of control to make someone that has never met you before hate you.
Right.
Is fun to me. It is fun to be able to push those buttons. You can say certain things. You can do certain things that you can't do. As a babyface, sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit more handcuffed. But it is fun to get those cheers and those reactions. It's definitely
especially from the kids. Feeling. It must be cool.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I have kids myself, so they're not a fan of Royce Bishop, the heel.
No, not at all. Huh?
They think Killer Nova Inc. is the coolest thing since sliced bread.
Right.
They love our persona and how we carry ourselves, but they don't like hearing their dad get booed.
Right. I understand that.
And they definitely don't want to. They don't want to see me lose either. Yeah. That's always the thing.
Right. And how old are they?
I have 3 kids. They're 11, 8, and 3.
Nice.
My 3-year-old, that's my princess. She's the only girl out of the 3, and she goes to some shows here and there. She can't make a whole show, so if I'm early on in the card, then she'll happily come, and she enjoys watching Daddy beat people up.
Nice. Now, Dan Bolia wants to know, I believe this will be your first Cold Fury, kind of your first in a regular match, but you were in
absolutely.
Well, that was at the Countdown. How does it feel to have such a high-profile match with chaotic legends like the Logans and Chase? He's kind of right, though. They are local legends for Chaotic, for sure.
Yeah, I have all the respect in the world for those guys.
Right.
I see Chase at class. He has wealth and knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are always willing to help out, so I completely respect them. Like I was saying earlier, the only problem I have is just why us? Right. You know, like, is there what's the issue? Yeah. You know, before I got involved with Killing Over Incorporated, those guys were cool as far as I was concerned. You know, Mill City Hooligans, and
yeah.
I mean, I watched them work with Killing Over.
Right.
So if they took it personal because we wanted to have a party and celebrate us being the greatest trio of all time, like I said, it's deeper than wrestling. It's a culture. And, you know, I was saying earlier, I think they're being a little insecure, and that's why they're trying to pick this fight with us. But as far as, like, getting to work with them, I'm honored to be able to work with them at Cold Fury.
Yeah, those guys are great. One of my oldest daughter went to school with Matt Logan, same class. Amado Figueroa.
Yeah.
Says, what are your thoughts on Cetherin?
Cetherin, well, I mean, I said earlier, he took my head off.
Right.
Amado is, he's a great guy. I mean, I was with him over the weekend for APW. As soon as I was done my match, I came over, I said, you know, I want to know what you think immediately. Like, you know, what can I work on? I trust him. I trust his opinions and his advice. He's been around the business a long time.
Yes, he has.
He was running the beginner ring when I started. Most of who I was as Royce Bishop really came from his guidance. Before I had moved over to Brian Fury's ring, being in that beginner ring, Amado was the guy we got to bounce all our ideas off of. Right. You know, what do you think of this? Do you think this would work? I had an original gimmick. We were moving forward with it. And then when we got rid of it and really started going into the Royce Bishop thing, being a little bit, I want to say the names changed, but the character pretty much stayed the same.
Right.
But he would always, you know, try to point me in that direction. Like, yeah, that might work. Or no, I don't think they'd react to that.
Right.
So I owe him a lot for that. Just, you know, helping me kind of get my feet wet.
Yeah.
And as far as Cetherin goes, you know, his other side, I'd love to be able to work him. We haven't been able to work yet. Like, we've crossed paths a couple times in some battle royals at, you know, Chaotic, at APW. We've ran into each other, but I'd love to be able to, you know, go one-on-one with him. And, you know, he's been around a long time, but he's getting up there in age. I'd like to, you know, test him a little bit, see if he wants to go with me.
The first time I saw him was here in Nashville when he wrestled for Lobster Man. Matt Loudon, how was your first experience at APW? The first time you went?
First time we went was, I believe it was in Amesbury at their outdoor event.
Okay.
Long day. I think they put on like 12 to 15 matches outdoors. Wow. It was nice. It was hot. They had, I want to say back then they had the, I think the ring was black. I think the canvas was black. Pretty sure. I think it was a little slippery too.
Yeah.
It was hot out there. We did a battle royal. We did 2 battle royals that day. And I was sweating. I never worked outside, so it was my first time working outside. And,
which is a lot different.
And I was happy it was a battle royal. Mainly because I didn't want to be running and gunning on that mat, sweating and dripping and slipping all over the place and make myself look like a fool. So as far as Royce Bishop goes, Royce Bishop wants to look cool at all times. So I try to avoid anything that's going to make me look foolish.
Nice. Jared Dumling has another question. And I know what you're going to answer, and that's fine. Who is the best trio all time in chaotic wrestling?
Oh, the culture. Killing Over culture.
So is he basic for asking that question?
It's a basic question to ask, but I'll never call Jared basic because, you know, he's incorporated. At the end of the day, he's incorporated. He's down with the culture, and I appreciate him.
Nice.
You know, I always see him. We always make eye contact when I come out, and I always know he's down with the culture. So
nice. You're not basic, Jared. That's great. Anthony Mark Balkas has a couple more questions. How did you come up with your gimmick?
Well, like I was saying earlier, with Amado helping me out, I guess I give you the short version of the story. My original name, my real name is Anthony. So I wanted to name myself after, myself. I wanted to try to stay true to me, answer to my own name. So my first name was going to be Tony, and I was like, cool, like I'll be Tony. And my last name is Brogna.
Right.
So I said, Brogna. I said Chris Brown, the singer. They call him Chris Breezy. So I could be like Tony Breezy. And I was like, I'll be Tony Breeze. Now this is 2013. And I stayed up. I'm very character driven. I love having punchlines and things I want to say on the microphone. And so I said, you know what? My catchphrase is going to be, there's nothing cooler than the breeze. And I was in it and started doing all the stuff in class. And I'm cutting promos with Amato. And then Amato calls me at 2 in the morning one morning. He goes, hey, man, I don't know if you just saw this new episode of NXT, but there's a guy named Tyler Breeze that just debuted. And I said,
not Tyler Breeze.
I said, no way.
Yep.
And then I was stressed.
Right.
And if you run into him and you ask him, like, how stressed was Royce Bishop about losing that first name? I was so I thought I was that character. I thought Tony Breeze was me, and I was going to run with it. And then, I ended up going through all these names, and I remember sending Amato a list, and that's why I give him so much credit for who I am today, because I was sending him a list. I'm like, what do you think of this one? I was throwing all these names at him, and then I was like, I think I got it. I'm like, it's Royce Bishop, and he's like, that's it. He's like, that's you. And he's like, where? He's like, why? How'd you come up with that? And I said, well, Royce, one, I think it's just a really cool name.
Yep.
I said, Rolls Royce. I said, my character is money driven. It's really all he cares about is getting a paycheck. It doesn't matter who you put in front of him. That's, welcome to the trap house. The trap house is where I get my money.
Right.
So I thought that was it made sense. And I thought it was a cool name and it had a ring to it. And then Bishop came from Tupac Shakur's character in Juice. He was Bishop. And I thought, Tupac Shakur being my favorite rapper, he is tattooed on me. I thought, I looked at his character and he was someone that could just flip a switch and he was intense.
Right.
And I said, that's someone I can model myself after, my attitude and not caring about anything. And then, we just kind of put them together and I started going from there and trying to figure out, what I wanted to do for my catchphrases and like where I wanted to be from and like kind of what my origin is. And as we got deeper and deeper into it, it became more myself. Right. And I think that's where I started feeling very comfortable when you hear all these legends and our trainers and guys that have been around for so long. And they always say, most of the time their characters, them turned up.
Yes.
And I thought, that's what I need. I need to find something that's going to be me turned up. And that's what it ended up evolving into, where I feel extremely comfortable as Royce Bishop, part of the Killanova culture, because that's Anthony Brogna, just turned up to the max.
Excellent. Anthony, he already answered the Halo Babyface question, but I'm sure you're watching. He always watches it live. Bugsy Stone says, can I talk to you outside? Did he ask you to talk outside the other night?
No, we haven't chat. We walked by each other.
He's a big dude too, huh?
He is. Good. He carries that bat around too. So,
Wendy.
I mean, we can have a chat outside. I mean, I'm never worried about having a chat outside.
Right.
If he's gonna bring a bat, I'm gonna have to bring something and just, let's talk.
There you go.
Let's have a talk.
I hope you're watching,
I don't mind talking.
Jake Olette says, how does it feel to be in a prime position early on in your career with Christian and Trips being your mentors?
I'm blessed.
Right.
I'm completely blessed to be where I am. When I look at my journey, and then, us going into this, probably the biggest Cold Fury of all time. We have, Warbeard Hansen coming back.
That's awesome.
To make an appearance, homecoming is amazing. So to be part of this event, to be at Haverhill High School, the high school I graduated from.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
To have people in the audience that have supported me through music, through wrestling,
right.
Personal friends and family that are there. To have that moment just in front of all them is surreal in general. As far as where I am, I look at Chaotic Wrestling, I look at Brian Fury, and I look at all of their upper management, and I say thank you for giving me the opportunity, coming back and and trying to get my feet wet again.
Right.
And really, with them having the confidence to throw me into the biggest heel group in Chaotic,
Right.
To put me in a main event picture right away while Christian was feuding with JT Dunn, which Christian should have got the belt. But
Yeah, I was pissed to hear that. Yes, I was.
I did.
I really was.
I saw
mad,
your reaction.
man. I really was.
That my first time coming out with them, and you know, I had to catch Christian and take that fall through the table so that he wouldn't.
Right.
Just for the culture, for him to be able to get that belt, and he didn't end up coming away with it, but. That doesn't mean our sights still aren't there.
Right.
Not that we're going to look past Mill City hooligans, but our sights are always on all gold everything. But to be in that situation, to be with the top group in Chaotic as a heel, is just, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. I never thought when I was coming back that I'd be in that position.
Nice. Sarah Howard wants to know, what has been your most memorable match? Now, that could be anything of yours, or even if you were with them and it was something, you know what I mean? Like, could be anything.
Yeah. As far as matches that I've been in, I would say my most memorable is probably that first Chaotic Countdown I did, 2015, being my first match, getting to get out there with my friends.
Right.
It's something I look at. It probably was far from great. My performance probably wasn't amazing, but it was just something that was really fun, and I was enjoying myself just getting to have fun out there with my friends. Being involved with Killanova, that ladder match at Breaking Point last year, was extremely memorable for me. That was surreal,
Right.
to be there, main event, be part of it, you know, try my best to help and fit in, and maybe we were. Timing wise, maybe we were a little off because I was so new to the group, and I wasn't able to, you know, help him get the job done. But I think now we got some feet under us. So
there you go.
Let's see next time.
Sarah will be there. She goes to a lot of Chaotic shows with her daughter Maddie. Dan Boley has another question. Who were your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Growing up, I would say my favorite wrestler, like when I first started watching wrestling, was Bret Hart.
Okay.
I was 9 years old, right, when I was saying earlier, and he was like the epitome of a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a Hulk Hogan child because I didn't watch it that early.
Right.
By the time I was watching Hulk Hogan, he was already Hollywood, which I liked.
Yeah.
But I wasn't eating my vitamins and saying my prayers.
Right.
I was, you know, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I absolutely loved Bret as a kid. And I think I was really part of the generation that WWF really tried to cater to. And what I mean by that is a couple years later, I hated Bret Hart. I loved Degeneration X.
Right.
I loved Austin, flipping the bird, drinking beers. I was a teenager,
Yeah.
and all the stuff that they were doing was super cool to me.
Yeah.
Bret wasn't cool anymore.
Right.
And from there, I became a huge Shawn Michaels fan, and I would say my number one was The Rock. I loved The Rock. I thought everything he did was perfect. I thought as soon as he picked up the microphone, I was all in. So I'd say The Rock, absolutely, probably my all-time favorite. I think he was the most impressionable on me during an impressionable stage of my life. I will tell you a funny story. 6th grade, I had on my my Degeneration X jersey, the one that came out that had some vulgar stuff on it and a number on it that, you know, isn't appropriate for school. And I was made to turn that jersey inside out. And I had to wear a jacket for that whole school day. And I'm pretty sure it was like late spring, and I was sweating, and I will never forget that, being like an 11-year-old kid. And that embarrassment of walking around the school because I wore that shirt. And I went home. And, of course, my mother didn't see me leave the house with that jersey on. And when I got home and told her, and she was like, I can't believe you wore that to school. Like, I bought that for you around the house. That was not supposed to be something in public. That's embarrassing.
Wow. Nice.
I said, Ma, you just don't understand.
Yeah. You
this is what the kids are into.
They mean to me.
No, they don't get it.
That's funny.
They never got it. Parents just don't understand.
Right. Dan has one more question. Who is your dream opponent? I know you said some local guys, but maybe, like, who that's maybe on TV or, you know.
I mean, obviously, you know, with
obviously
The Rock,
Christian, like you would say. I understand that.
You know, with The Rock being my favorite wrestler, that would absolutely be a dream. I'd say some top indie guys that are out there. You know, I think I think Cody Rhodes, which I guess you can't even consider him an indie guy anymore with AEW blowing up the way it is. I think Cody is amazing. He's so much different and better than what WWE allowed him to show.
Yeah.
I think like being able to work with him would be great. Like you said, working with Christian is always just something that I want to do for us, for me and for him. I look at him like a little brother, and I think we would just have a good time because we know each other so well. Brian Fury's a dream match for me. And mostly because I don't know, you never know what Brian's going to do the next day. You know, I thought he was done 2 years ago, and he wanted to test himself against JT, and he looked damn good doing it.
That's what I heard.
And, you know, and then AG wants to push his buttons and get him. So it's, you know, he might be setting himself up because if I know all you got to do is push his buttons a little bit, I mean, I know he got no hair now, but I mean, if you cut his hair and he's willing to fight you, I mean, I got to figure out something. Maybe I key his car or something.
There you go.
I don't know. Pop a tire. Maybe he'll want to face me then. But I've worked with him. You know, I obviously work with him at class as a teacher. And he's so good at what he does.
He really is.
That it makes me, you know, I look at guys like that, like they can take me to the next level. They can make me so much better than I am. And I can learn so much from that. So I definitely say he'd be a dream opponent. And mainly because I don't know if he'll ever do it. So how the heck do I convince him to do it?
I think you'll find a way. If he's still up for it after this big match with AG.
Yeah, it's gonna. AG's young and he's good.
He is.
I think Fury got his work cut out for him.
It's definitely gonna be a great match. Jesse Martineau wants to know that, and this kind of threw me off when I was writing it down. I'd like to know how his career trajectory is now different being in Killanova that has really brought him to the attention of a number of fans. Yeah,
so I definitely think there's more eyes on me now. Like I was saying earlier, as far as being blessed and being honored to be part of Killanova when I was put in that, now I'm, you know, I feel like I'm going to be a key to their future, taking it to the next level. Christian wasn't able to become champion when I wasn't there. He will. We will be tag champions. I will take that New England title. If I saw Christian say it, if we want to go get a girl to take that woman's title, we'll go get a female. That's our goal. So yeah, more eyes on me is great. You know, I want my name to spread, you know, throughout the area, throughout the country. If I didn't join Killanova, I think my personality is big enough to have gotten noticed, but I think it jump-started me, so that's why I'm honored to have started with it. Other than that, I probably would have been, you know, an opener on the card for a long time, trying to, you know, struggle and work my way up. So again, I'm happy for the opportunity that, you know, Killanova Inc. provided me for that. And I know it would have been a lot more work without them, you know, without having Triplicious. I think, you know, Christian has said it, and many guys that come from Chaotic have said it. The Chaotic fans are very, like, they're accustomed to who they know. And if you're an outsider, you know, it's very hard. You know, guys like a Mike Werner and a Richard Holiday, these guys are great. And they come in, it's kind of quiet when they first come in.
It took a little while.
Yeah, the fans they're looking at you. JT Dunn, same thing. You know, the fans are looking at you trying to figure out, okay, who is he? What's he all about? Do we like him? Do we hate him? What's going on? So even being a student, I've worked security, you know, on the sideline for a long time. And some of the fans knew me from that. But when you come out there as a wrestler and you're working, it's a different feeling for the fans because they're like, well, who is this guy? Show me something. Make me like you or make me hate you. So I think that makes it a steeper road to try to climb, whereas Killanova has completely allowed me to jump right out and really, you know, slap these fans in the face. You know, not literally, but figuratively.
I think a question like that's coming up in a minute too.
All right.
Bobby Bollier, Dan's brother, wants to know, on Friday night at Cold Fury, you were stepping into the ring, with the most decorated faction in Chaotic history. And he goes on to tell us that they've had 16 title reigns, spanning 3,418 days for the Mill City Hooligans. Does a victory for Killanova Inc. automatically put you guys straight to the main event where Killanova belongs?
I'm glad he says Killanova belongs in the main event. We already are the main event. So win or lose, like, we're the culture. We run Chaotic Wrestling regardless. If they happen to get lucky and slip a win on us, that doesn't change who we are and what we do. It's not going to happen. 3, 4, 5,000 days, all that tells me is that these guys have been around forever.
Right.
That doesn't impress me.
Yep.
Cool, we can win all the titles you want over the course of 35 years. It doesn't, that's not impressive to me. It just means you have longevity and you've been around. That's cool, you stayed healthy.
Right.
Congratulations on staying healthy and being around. What we plan on doing is touching every title in a much shorter time frame than it took them to do it.
Nice. Anthony Mark Balkus wants to know, well, kind of already answered in a way, but who do you want to wrestle that you haven't yet? Guys got to read the questions that are already asked, guys.
No, it's cool because it gives me time to think of other people that I love to wrestle.
No, that's cool. Anthony knows I love him.
I will answer this one like this. I will wrestle anybody who wants smoke with me. You know, I want to work with the best. I want people that are going to make me better.
Yep.
And I also want to use the things that I've been taught, even though I'm very new in the industry, to help guys that, you know, may be coming up behind me.
Right.
You know, if I can offer anything that has been told, you know, to me by an Amato or Johnny Vegas or Brian Fury, then, you know, let me hand that down to somebody. You can learn from everyone.
Right.
You know, you can walk down the street and learn from anybody you walk by. And I think that's, you know, that's what I try to do. Just want to be a sponge and learn from everyone.
Nice.
If I can give some information to someone, I will. So if it comes to who do I want to wrestle, whoever wants it, you know, whoever wants it, inbox me, tell a promoter, like, let's go. I'm ready.
Nice. He also added on it, the list has to be big because you are a good talent and young, keep grinding.
I appreciate it. Not so young anymore, though. But
no. Also, Anthony Mark Balka says, have you ever had a real moment like someone being serious and trying to hit you or a bad experience with the fan? Most fans know the difference, but some don't. You're right about that, Anthony. Some don't.
Well, I mean, if you use Chaotic Wrestling, for an example, I mean, they got guardrails up. I think these fans know to stay on their side of the guardrail. Other places don't. Nothing specifically. I mean, I could tell you if someone gets out of line, I walk by them. I think they quiet down pretty quickly. Like I said, as long as they stay on their side of the guardrail, then we're fine.
Right.
Other than that, you know, I'll respect any promotion I'm at and not hurt a fan too much if they decide to come on my side.
There you go. I said it to those guys yesterday. I've literally been at the old Ring of Honor shows I used to cater, and I'd see workers from here, like, just being disrespectful. I'll never say who it is, at least on air, you know? And it just make me wonder, like, you guys are in the business. Why would you act like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I have seen it.
I can't speak for anyone else. Me as a heel, I love to get under your skin.
Right.
I tell guys all the time that their wife is looking at me. She might be.
She probably is. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you know, if the truth hurts.
Right.
I think as a fan, there's a line. You got to be willing to take some stuff because you're probably going to say some stuff. And I think as a fan, you should know better. I will say if we were to talk about certain fans like that might get under my skin, it's the ones that, you know, aren't aware that there's kids next to them and some of the things they say.
Yes.
I've never been a big fan of swearing during a promo. I don't need to use an F word during a promo. So when I see fans that have to use an F word to insult me, I say I can insult you way worse without having to use that. And I know there's kids in the audience. You know, most of these promotions, they're trying to run family-friendly shows, and you know, let's keep it family-friendly.
Right.
You know, I can be my character and make you hate me without, you know, having to offend, you know, women and children.
I'm glad you answered it that way, Anthony. Did you hear how he answered that? Because Anthony likes to swear in front of his kid.
Anthony, calm down.
Anthony, he's such a good kid, man. I love that kid. I got to get to a show with him. We've never. I think I might have been there once, but we didn't know each other back then. You better be back at APW. Who in the APW locker room would you like to wrestle? Good question, Anthony.
So, man, if I can get my brother from Killanova, Christian Casanova, to come with me, I mean, I'd love to go take a shot at Nightbreed. You know, I'd like to take those tag belts off of them.
Yeah.
You know, there's a guy that, you know, has helped train me and Christian. So to be able to show him what we have now together would be really cool. As far as singles go, Demon Ortiz.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's legendary in this area.
Absolutely.
He's, you know, if you look at all the, you know, first few years of Cold Furies.
Yeah.
He's a huge part of that, the growth in that company. So yeah, he's definitely somebody that's on the bucket list at APW.
Yeah, no, he is phenomenal. Were you on the show at Liberty States when he got hurt? Were you
No,
there?
I wasn't.
Man, that sucked. You know,
Anytime an injury happens, it's
yeah. I mean, you DL's injury. You were there for that.
I was working security for it.
Crazy, huh?
Yep.
All right, that's the end of fan questions. We got a little over 12 minutes to play the name game.
Cool.
Julian Starr.
Oh man, Julian's great. I was as a student when I first came in. I was training for a little bit, and then he had just came back, so he was already off from his injury. I was always told he was retired, and then he came back, and I was impressed right away. I didn't get to see him, when he was first coming out. So when he came back from his injury, I got to see him, and that was extremely exciting for me.
Right.
Now, he's a mentor to me. He helps out in the ring with Fury and our, the more advanced ring.
Right.
And he's just a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
I bounce probably just as many ideas off him as I do, Christian or Brian Fury. And he's a great helping hand when it comes to that stuff. He has a great mind for the business. And I heard Christian say it yesterday, and I know a lot of people say it, but it's like I wish he'd come back.
Yeah.
And he's someone, you want to talk dream opponents? Come out of retirement, please, please.
I can speak, honestly, I can speak for Damon, Jerry Lane, a bunch of us. We'd all love to see him back, man. He's so talented. How about Mistress Belmont?
I always run into Mistress Belmont at shows.
Yep.
We've shared some locker rooms. We've never had any direct relationship conversations, anything.
Right.
It's and it's disappointing because I saw how well she fit, as an agent for Killanova Inc. Originally, and Trips and Christian talk so highly of her. I'm just like, wow, let's have her come back.
Right.
What's she doing? Come on over.
Maybe that's the girl that
Plenty
can
of
come in
room.
and take that title. JT Dunn, the champ. Right
JT
now.
Dunn. Oh man.
Maybe he won't be the champ after Friday.
He got a tall
sure
glass of water
does,
to deal
man.
with. He's gonna have a lot to drink.
That match is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I think they're gonna tear the house down. I think JT's very good.
Yeah.
I watch him. I've had a couple brief moments in the ring with him. He said some things about me before a couple of the matches. I'd like a shot at him to really see. I think he's great. I think he has a bright future. I think he's going to go a lot of places. And I know I follow him very closely on Instagram, and I see there are a lot of people that are looking at him.
Yep.
Anybody making it from here is great. And I know we have a great track record in this area anyways. But
Chaotic alone.
So
not that against any other company, but Chaotic
and
alone has that
I'm
track
super
record.
impressed what he's done at Chaotic. I think it's helped take Chaotic to another level as well
it has.
under the new ownership with Brian Fury. But I don't know how much longer he's going to be champion.
Right. No. Friday he's in for it. But you're right though. Like when Brian bought the company and everything, and the belt went on JT. You really, honestly, a lot of young guys in Chaotic. It was really smart to bring in someone like JT. And a lot of people that I know, when they see him, they go, "Oh, he's so small." Doesn't matter the size, man. That death by elbow.
It's vicious.
And it's believable.
It's vicious.
You know?
Yeah, it's vicious. I will say, if Josh Briggs takes that title, that should be accredited to Killanova Inc. I mean, if it wasn't for Christian and Trips, there would be no Josh Briggs. So
nice.
So I guess I kind of root for him then. Why not?
There you go. Well, all right. So you just say you want to root for Josh. We'll put him down there. How about Cicero?
Oh, clown.
Jester.
I will say he got a really rowdy fan base. They heckled the hell out of me at APW over the weekend.
Oh, really?
I gave it back to them, but so he's definitely someone like we can bring the circus to the trap house, and I'll happily bring all the smoke to him.
Yeah, he really is doing a good job.
He has
really
a very good following.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
I notice everywhere he goes, he definitely has a lot of support.
Yeah.
So being from our school, I'm happy for him for that.
Nice. How about we'll go to a referee, Mr. Kevin Quinn.
Quinn's great.
I don't think he's going to be doing your match though, right? Because
he said, So Brian Fury said that, don't have Quinn ref your tag team match, which I know Quinn wasn't too happy about.
Right.
And Quinn made some comments that he already kind of had his mind made up on who the better trio was in Chaotic Wrestling. That. So I felt like maybe there'd be a quick count, or he's going to turn a blind eye to maybe some powder throwing or some other things that go on. So aside from him definitely not reffing my match, because I don't want him anywhere near the ring if I'm in it, because now I don't trust him. Outside of the ring, as far as a class setting goes, Quinn's great.
Yeah.
He's always someone that I could talk real life with.
Yep.
And sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
Wrestling business is wrestling business, and I could talk wrestling for hours.
Right.
But sometimes when you just want to talk about your real life stuff or some problems that you might have going on, Quinn is a great person to talk to for that.
Absolutely. Kevin's a great guy.
And he got plenty of years of advice,
Yes, he does. How about Scotty Slade? I haven't brought him up in a while.
Scotty Slade, I hold probably in the same regard as Julian. These are guys that don't have to help you.
Right.
Yeah. They don't have to, but they want to. Yep. And I respect Scotty for that. When I came back, when I made my return to wrestling after taking some time off, Scotty was, pretty much one of the first people to kind of, put my name out there, get me into Lucky Pro Wrestling, help guide me through that first match back. So I appreciate him for that, and nice. And he always comes to me with, with advice on, how to get better, and I think he always has his eyes open.
Nice.
And now he's really he's running the ring for the younger kids and all the beginners, and I think he's doing a great job with them over there too.
Nice. How about your Killing partners?
Trips is the OG. I think Trips helped get Christian to a certain level,
right.
And I think he'll help me get there as well.
Yeah.
He's great, great guidance. He offers great guidance. Christian is the top talent. I was saying earlier, everyone in the country should know who he is.
Right.
Christian should have a contract.
Absolutely.
He should be with a major company. He should be on TV. The kid has it all.
Yes, he does.
I don't see. There's really nothing bad I can ever say about Christian, except that if we were to lock horns, I'm gonna have to slap him around a little. Big brother, little brother stuff.
There you go. How about a guy that's pretty hated right now himself, Brett Domino?
I love Brett Domino. Brett is.
The fans don't though.
But the fans are basics most of the time. So most of the time their opinion doesn't matter. I love the real Brett Domino.
Yeah.
I think he's coming into his own. He's a young kid. I want to say he started roughly around the time I did. Right. We were sharing the ring together then before I left. I came back and I'd seen his growth. He's still a young kid. He has so much potential, such a good future in front of him. But the real Brett Domino, I think this is really separating him.
Nice. Yeah, no, he's actually doing a great job with this. Brian Malonis.
The Kingpin.
Yes.
He threw me out of my first Chaotic Countdown.
Don't surprise me.
A lot of people don't they don't really see our story. He did that to me. He almost squashed me and destroyed me, sitting on a chair with Triplicious on top of me when I was trying to be a security guard, just trying to hold order. So I had to hit him in the stomach with the chair, and that's when I joined the culture. So Brian is a great guy overall. He's another guy I'd love to work, different style. He'd push me to a different limit. I'm so happy for him signing his contract. I think he's well-deserved, long overdue.
Yep.
And he's always been someone that's just been very cordial with me. Right. Every time we see each other, every time he'd stop by the school, he'd always come up to me. Always have a conversation. So I'm happy for him, and I always look forward to seeing him in the locker room. I think he's one of those faces that you're happy to see walk by.
Right. All right, we got a couple more names here. How about AG and his honeys, Ava and Angel?
Let's start with the Honeys.
Oh, please do.
Right? The Honeys are great.
Yes, they are.
I love those girls. I think they're just wicked cool. You know, we work together a lot in class.
Right.
I see them a lot. I see their growth.
Right.
AG is probably a big part of that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So as far as AG goes, he's another one. When you look at the landscape of these young guys that are out right now, like a Christian, like an AG, these are guys that should be, on syndicated television somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I think they will be. This retrosexual AG that he's been doing for, I'd say, about a year now, right? A little bit over a year, or roughly a year, is great. Yeah. And he's another guy that I look at for guidance. You know, when I need some help on something or some idea to bounce off of, he's definitely someone I reach out to.
I actually think Ring of Honor is going to scoop him up soon.
They
He's been doing the Future of Honor shows. There's no way they're going to let somebody else take him.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
How about DL Hurst?
DL's a good guy. Maybe at a fault sometimes.
Okay.
As you can see with Brett turning on him, right?
Right.
But DL's great. I watched him work extremely hard to come back from that injury. Like you said earlier, I was there for that injury.
Right.
I'm happy to see him back, and I know I can see how much happier he is actually being back in the ring, because it is a struggle watching it from the outside.
Oh yeah. How about, you got anything to say to the Mill City Hooligans?
I mean, the Mill City Hooligans, they already know what it is. I've said it so many times, so many promos we filmed, like, they don't want smoke with the Killanova culture. I think they're biting off more than they can chew. They're guys that are over the hill. They're past their prime. They had all those titles, all those years of reigning supreme. Like, that's cool. Like, now you can go off and, remember the glory days. Bounce your kids on your lap, and go settle down and allow us to have our time now.
Nice.
It's insecurity, if anything. I think they're very insecure looking at what they used to be. Right. And come Friday, Cold Fury, Haverhill High School, we're bringing all the smoke.
Nice.
And I hope they're ready for it.
I think they will be ready, at least. I mean, they're professionals and all that. So don't forget, Cold Fury, Haverhill High School, this Friday night, which is the 9th, right? No,
15th.
What is it?
15th.
The 15th. See, I'm already behind on the dates. But you got to go there. Some great matches. AG versus Brian Fury.
Yep.
Killanova Inc. versus the Mill City Hooligans. And in the main event, the heavyweight championship, JT Dunn defending against Josh Briggs. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Take care. Peace. Goes by.